Hello class, my name is Justin Allen. This is the signature assignment for class SSCU 380 at UMass Global. My presentation today will be for the Organic Food Corporation. Organic foods. Healthy foods without processed chemicals are in high demand. With more people wanting this type of product, there is now increased competition in the market. In order to stay competitive, it is essential to use all the tools of modern technology offers. Part of those tools is analyzing data and using it to make better business decisions. Objectives for the plan for 2025. Our major goals are as follows. Identify underperforming products being sold, lower customer acquisition costs, adopt a new marketing strategy, identify main competitors, and find new products. Our method of execution for this will be to use data analytics to scrub for merchandise underselling, eliminate large marketing budgets, deploy the marketing focus to social media, and use data insights to find who the best competitors are, and once that's been identified, find out what of the products the competitors use that sell more. The first stage of this plan is cutting undersold products. We all know that any grocery store is going to have products that do well during certain times of the year, or they might also just have products that just don't sell that often over a 12-month period. This is essential to identify, and I can't think of a better way to do that than to use data. So the first step in that process is to recognize what tools are at our disposal for this. Data analytics capabilities, or DAC, and customer relationship management, or CRM. The focus for this type of research is to integrate the technology of platforms like Salesforce into the data that is available through the sales information posted by the website of the store. That store can integrate with Salesforce and have our team review all the numbers from the last 4 quarters of the financial fiscal year in sales revenue and reviewing that inventory to come up with an option of what products are best going to be selected to stop for future order purchases. And then come up with a strategy of how we replace those products with another product that might be selling a little bit better. And this is what we'll go into in a little bit later. But this is that first step of the process, which is just identifying the things that are keeping the company heavy and might not be doing it any good. Second part of that process is lowering client acquisition costs. One of the most important decisions in any company is the cost of each client to get them into your store. Understanding your target market and presenting a clear path to profitability are key. Banks and investors are interested in seeing that you have a solid grasp on the business financial aspects, including projected revenues, expenses, and cash flow. They also value the evidence of your commitment and capability to successfully manage the business. This is the critical part. Having a plan in place and sticking to it, including when it comes to having a plan to cut costs. And let's think of an example of how we could get to that acquisition cutback. Say you have a client demographic in your area, and it's split between clients who are 18 to 45 or 60 to 85, just as an example. And through the data analytics tools, we find out that the majority of the 60 to 85-year-olds are actually acquired by printing costs, such as newspaper ads, versus the cost of age clients between 18 to 45 were gained from effective social media posts, like partnering with influencers or looking at posts that you would share and scroll with your friends and then basically act as a word of mouth. The reality is, if a bulk of the sales are going to come from a lower cost marketing ploy, which would be using social media, then it would be better to increase that production of marketing techniques to focus on that demographic in order to get more of that demographic into your store. Versus the newspaper ads might be producing clientele to come to your store, but not at a sufficient level to where it's meeting the expectations of the budget and the projected growth figures. These are the hard decisions that it comes to make when a company is looking at cutting costs, but also trying to focus on growth. And the big thing that we need to focus on right now is partnering with influencers and using those influencers to create a social media strategy that will help us get our brand out and effectively make the Organic Food Corporation a marketable product that everyone knows, the same level they would for the competitors. And now let's talk about what those competitors look like. First, with the digital marketing strategy, we have to understand that the location is what matters the most here. Location for our store that we're talking about with today would be a metropolitan location, which means it's in a major city like Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, or different parts of the country that have a big population. Now, This is crucial because young people tend to live in that market a lot more. Young people tend to find their products online. And where do people usually spend their time scrolling online? Through their phones. And if they're on their phones, there's a good shot that they're on social media. So we have to meet these people where they are, which is on their phone. Most grocers recognize that social media can amplify their brand. According to the 2021 Sprout Social Index, 90% of consumers will purchase from a brand they follow on social media. They are also 86% more likely to choose that brand over a competitor. Partnering with social media influencers, our recommendation would be for the marketing team to focus on promoting the organic grocery store through TikTok, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Snapchat. Focus on using social media short stories, highlighting popular products being sold at the grocery store, which will hopefully gain traction and then therefore create more client demand. Now, the main competitors, who are they? Currently, the main competitors are going to be companies like Whole Foods, Erewhon, Sprouts, and so much more. These competitors are very well known as big brands, and they have the advantage of being household names. They also have the advantage of having huge capital investments attached to them. But that does not mean Organic Foods Corporation can't compete. There's always a way to find a competitive edge in any business environment. One of those good ways is by looking at good ideas and learning from your competitors. When we take products like 365 by Whole Foods Market Cauliflower Crust Pizza, we can think about the growing number of people who are either vegan or have allergies to that type of product that would normally be in, like wheat or gluten, and we need to provide them with alternatives to that will give them a reason to come into our store and make a purchase. Whole Foods Market organic Italian sodas, this is huge. Obviously, with today's age, the more and more things that we find out about sodas that we've been drinking our entire lives, people still have the urge to have a soda, but they just want it to be a little less bad for you. And this is why having an alternative like that makes so much sense. Organic chicken noodle soup. Again, a classic product. We all remember getting canned soup from the grocery store, but many of us never took the time to look at what the ingredients are in there. It's essential that we create our own product that will actually mimic those type of tastes, but actually not have as bad of a bodily effect on yourself. And then another product like high grain-free cookies. Everyone still wants to enjoy the same sweets that they had before, but again, just without less of the bad stuff in it. All these products need to be produced in-house with Organic Foods Corporation's own branding, so that it doesn't violate any trademarks, but it's something that we can still call our own. Then what we need to do is market our equivalent product so that people know we have something that tastes better and is more cost effective. That would be the ultimate goal. Putting it all together, growth expectations. With this new growth strategy, we are confident that the changes being made are for the benefit of the Organic Food Corporation. Cutting cost and using the savings to invest in the new inventory and with a new sales approach is key. Keeping data analytics at the forefront of this strategy is what's most important. As the numbers change, it's important to update the sales goals and the approach. A business can never keep the same strategy, even if it wants to remain competitive, because the numbers are always going to change and social trends are also going to change. So it's important to always stay up to date on these things. And let's be clear, this transition could come with its own temporary hurdles and could cause a disruption in sales. But it's essential if we're going to make these changes to make them efficiently and not second guess them. In the era of fast-growing technology with new tools like AI that make analyzing the data even more convenient than before, it's impossible for us to not recognize that there's advantages now to being a business owner and using these tools that were never available in the past. It's important to remember that we live in a time where businesses have more tools at their disposal than any other time in history. And it's time to take Organic Food Corporation to the new heights that it deserves to be at. This concludes the presentation. Thank you so much. I have my references listed here on the last slide. Looking forward to hearing any questions or feedback. Have a great day.